Welcome back. I'm Kim Bailey. She's Fuliana Osborne, and this is Inside Exec. Today we have a case study for you, and Fuliana is going to outline what we're going to discuss.
Thank you. I've got this question from one of our listeners that said, look, at the moment, the hot topic is we're all talking at how many days you work from the office, and the team is talking about whether it's 2 days, 3 days, what hours, how, etc. They nearly all in favor of having working hybrid. I personally, she said that she personally does not want to work from home. She is much more comfortable working from the office, but she's a bit reluctant to voice that because she feels that maybe the team will be like she's not supporting what the majority want, and that she feels that she might come across like she's trying to impress or try hard. Her question to us is, what's the best way to deal with that in the right way?
So is this a situation where everyone has to work the same, so they can't individually choose? It has to be everyone works from home or everyone works in the office, or everyone works hybrid?
It's a given that they will all work hybrid, right?
Okay.
But the discussion is around, is it 3 days and which 3 days? And a bit of flexibility within that. But by and large saying, overall, we're looking for 3 days in the office or 2 days from home or something like that. Then talk about, I'll do Monday, but we all have to be here on X day. Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Then is the decision based on them voting, or is it going to be them making a recommendation? Is there a consensus or is there voting happening?
It's not voting. I think management says, look, discuss it amongst yourselves and then come up with the thoughts, and then we'll try and accommodate it with what we think will work as well. Like it's, yeah, but the rough parameters is what I said.
Yeah. And so this person who wants to work only in the office, is there a reason why they don't want to do the hybrid thing?
For this person, they're saying, I am much more focused when I work in the office. I know that not everybody's there at the same time. I also like to learn by observing and listening. The other thing is she finds the discipline of getting up in the morning, getting ready and making the journey to work is getting in that mindset. I'm at work and it's all about work today, no interruptions. And then the same, she enjoys the opposite at the end of the day, going home and then switching off work, now the separation by the journey. Yeah. I think she feels it suits her better. It works better for her. She's more productive and all of that. So how to tackle it is what we'll offer now. So one of the things is to say, look, the whole thing to remember is about working from home and hybrid and all of that is about giving people some flexibility and balance. And it's not one size fit all. There are people that might prefer to start at 7 a.m. in the morning. And some will say, I can't start till 9 because dropping kids off or whatever. So I think it allows that person to input, and I don't believe she should feel that she's being disloyal to the team or anything like that.
It is exactly the same as when what we used to call flexi time was introduced. So we had anywhere between 7 and 9:30 to start, anywhere between 4 and 6 to finish. Yeah. And there was a period of time in the day where everybody was there together. There was at that time pressure put on people in certain areas to start at a certain time, and others couldn't do it. And I think it's a matter of just being straight up honest. In those days, it was about, it can't start at that time because I can't get a bus before this time in the morning. It won't get me here until then. I've got these other things that have to be done before I start work. But when I'm at work, I'm focused, and I can stay this extra bit of time because that fits into the other things. So I think that perhaps a generation has forgotten that that's what it was like. Yeah. And that, to me, honesty is always the best path to follow. Yeah. If you give people a reason that they can understand, they don't have to agree with it, but if they can understand your reasoning and feel that that works for you and you're doing that because you're supporting the team, then that's the way to go. I think that the best thing is to say, I like the discipline. I need the discipline of coming in, and that makes me work better for everybody. I can be a better support to everyone. I can do the things that you all need me to do if I come into the office every day. I appreciate that you've got these other skills that mean that you can work this other way. I can't do it. And it's as simple as that. It's not a confrontation. It's not a value judgment. It's just simply saying, I work differently, than no different to when FlexiTime was first introduced. I can't be there at 7 o'clock, but I can be there at 8:30, and I can give you everything you need from 8:30 till 6.
I totally agree. I believe that if she's everything that this listener told us is what she should say to the group.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And one thing to remember, just because you don't go 100% with a recommendation or with the team, it doesn't mean it's right or wrong. It's what works. And the other thing is what's very, very important about this, by her choosing to do it this way, she's, as you said, she's contributing more and not adversely impacting anyone. It's not like, oh, I'm all right, Jack, and whatever. It's not like that. It's actually a plus rather than a minus. So I would say definitely go ahead. I certainly would if I was in that situation. And I wouldn't see it as anything other than I respect that you need that. And then like I would expect people to respect that I can only do from these hours or the day.
But I think too, we have to acknowledge that it may well be in her speaking up and saying these things, it may well give someone else in the group who's not quite so confident the opportunity to say, well, actually, I want to work this way, and open up the discussion a bit more rather than just say, oh, well, the majority of people are saying Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but that doesn't work for me.
That's exactly right. In her situation, I think it's very, very doable, and it's a plus, not a minus. So feel confident, talk about it openly, tell them exactly what you just told us, and do it.
It's about the individual's contribution to the team, and the best way to contribute to the team is to work in this way. And now that we have the opportunity to do that, we should be embracing it in all its forms, not just looking for the common solution, the lowest common denominator solution, even and having people who are uncomfortable with it, because that just creates further problems down the line where you get to a stage where you feel like you're not contributing because you're not going in every day, you're not in that routine that you want to be in. It affects the approach you take to the work and the results that you get from the work that you do. So it's got to be draw the line, make the statement. If in the end, what happens, she says all this to the team and they still say, well, we've got to come to some consensus, everyone's got to agree. I don't think that that's the case either. I think that all of the views should be presented to those who are going to make the decision for them to decide and have the justifications for those decisions, those choices within what goes into the presentation.
You're right, because at the end of the day, they can't all agree on exact specific, because one of the whole idea of hybrid, when you say I'm working from home, I literally don't have to be at home. So I could be in the holiday house, I could be at a friend's place, as long as I'm 100% working and available for that duration. It's okay. Physically, I could be in a hotel, what I mean? So being in an office is exactly the same, even better.
Well, I think we've covered our views on that. So I hope that helps. And if any of our listeners have got suggestions or are in the same position and have come across roadblocks in that decision-making process, please drop us a line and we'll continue the discussion or share our further thoughts on it. But let's leave it for today. I'm Kim Bailey, she's Polyana Osborne, and this is Inside Exec.